Hello, I'm TheZOMBIEJ. It's time to talk about Bionicle in a positive way, because we're going to be talking about the Flash animations. From 2001 to 2006, actually. First half of 2006. Well, whatever. There have been Flash animations for, well, Bionicle, G1. Different studios would produce these Flash animations, but the one that everybody is most fond of is Templar. And I think Templar are still around. I think they have a YouTube channel, so that's cool. Though I'm not entirely sure. Someone look it up. So the first of the Flash animations are basically the cutscenes and whatnot from Motonui Online Game. I have direct nostalgia for these because I love this game. Motonui Online Game is a point-and-click adventure game, and it's quite fun. It's enjoyable. You play as Takua and the Chronicler and all that. And, you know, every time you click on something or, you know, you get to a certain point, there will be a cutscene, and it will be an animation of some sort. This game was developed by Templar, and there was some cut stuff from the game, like Onua having to fight some Kofojaga, and probably some other things as well, which is fascinating to know. And I think someone decided to actually make that an actual video. Someone posted on YouTube, can't remember who. That was some pretty good news. Well, not news, but nice little factoid. So these animations were good for their time, but as they age, you start to realize, you know, these Flash animations, the Templar animations, don't hold up as well, which is why someone tried to, you know, remaster or you know, reanimate, remaster, whatever, the Motonui Online Game, and try to get a physical copy out to the public, and this caused some backlash. And Lego was probably not happy with this idea. Templar was happy with it, but they would have to get permission from Lego too, so... But hey, at least you get a little mask for your Takua Tohunga custom, you know, thing. I have Takua back there with just a Picari. But the Templar animations for Motonui Online Game, fantastic early 2000s animation style. It is nostalgic in its own way, and I just enjoy these animations the most. In 2002 came the Bohrok animations, 7 episodes. These would chronicle the events of, you know, the Bohrok saga. The Bohrok were unleashed, and the Toa had to go collect the Krana and defeat some Bohrok in the process, and eventually go to the Bohrok Queens, Kadak and Gadak, and do all that stuff. Meanwhile, Matoran everywhere were trying to fight against the Bohrok themselves, along with their Turaga, you know, village leaders. And this basically continues the story of Takua, who is going from village to village, helping village to village, each village, and Nuparu does the whole Boxor thing, which is why you got that set in 2002. I had that set, and I also had the Exotoa. Never got Kadak and Gadak for whatever reason. Sucks, I know, but whatever. these animations were of the same sort of, quality as Matanui Online game, at least the first episode. Then it got better, kind of. The Picari was less stylized and more accurate to the toy mask. And so, after episode 2, things were looking a little more toy accurate, kind of. But these were enjoyable animations. There's some comedic value to these as well, even in the Minogue animations as well. There was also the Huki and Maku ship scene, which, Greg says that love is not canon in Bionicle. Well, I think he's wrong. So, he's not involved with the Bionicle story anymore, so why does he give a fuck nowadays? We're free to make our own stories. That's why I plan on making a shipping fic of Antros and Gorast. Doesn't really make that much sense, but hey, it's interesting. But the Bohrok animations were great. They were enjoyable and still provided a bit of nostalgia for me, even as I've watched them previously, earlier this year, I think. Then came the Bohrok-Kal animations. It only got 2 episodes. No, 3, sorry. And this was basically taking place right after the Bohrok animations. Sometime after the Bohrok animations, as the Bohrok-Kal have been unleashed. Elite Bohrok. There, on that shelf right there. And so, the powers, the Nuva symbols of the Toa Nuva now have been stolen. And as a result, the Toa Nuva have to go on a quest. And Jaller and Takua, yes, I still pronounce it as Jaller, fuck you, they go along with them. And eventually Tahu Nuva uses the Vahi, and the Bohrok-Kal just go haywire. They die in weird fashion. And that was entertaining. And the Matoran all got a massive upgrade using parts from these Bohrok to be part of this celebratory thing called, I don't know what it's called, but it's Rebuild Day? I don't know. Point is, all the Matoran got a massive upgrade, and this continues on into the game, Matanui Online Game 2, The Final Chronicle. There's cutscenes in this one too, but this counts as a separate thing. It's just the game, but it's still done by Templar. Still fantastic. I was never able to beat the game, mostly because I got stuck somewhere in a soft lock. I prefer Minogue anyway. The first game. So, the Templar animations, nostalgic fun. Early 2000s. I just love the vibrant and lively, surreal colors and whatnot. The atmosphere of the island of Matanui in these animations. This really feels like I'm actually there, and that is a fantastic feeling. And then, once Templar, in 2004, Templar did the Vaki animations, which they were the last animations they did for Bionicle, and that kind of blows. I mean, I would have liked to see what they did with the Toa Metru, but they didn't do that. No. We didn't get Toa Metru animations, we got stuff. We got the movie, so there's that. But the Vaki animations were interesting. They kind of presented this whole 1984-esque sort of a society that Metru Nui was being painted as, but in reality it's just interesting ideas in a massive conglomerate. The Vaki were robots, but they were pretty cool robots. They were a step down from the Rakshi, but that's because these were built by Nuparu, and the fact that they were also from the first prequel year, you know, they were created before the events of 2001, and yeah, many years. But the Vaki animations were entertaining for the most part. They were short, but I enjoyed them still, regardless. So from 2001 to 2004, first half of 2004, Templar seemed to be the definitive Bionicle Flash animation for G1 Studio. All that was brought crumbling to dust once we found out that we weren't getting Toa Metru animations from anyone, really. There were Toa Metru CDs that you can play games and whatnot, but in 2005, though, we got the Toa Hordika and the Mask of Light. This was an extension of the 2005 story. It was a little extra bit where the Toa Hordika have to find the Makoki stones. They fight some Visorak in the process and some other things. Like there's this giant purple tentacle that was just flying around and being stupid. There was also these lava leeches, lava leeches or whatever the fuck they were, eels, and once provoked, they heat up the metal bars that Vakama was standing on, and thus he goes falling into the lava. Until Anawa saved him. This animation style was actually pretty cool. I mean, it was a little simplistic, but I enjoyed it either way. The voice stuff, I mean, at least they tried giving some voices to these characters, but they kind of reminisce of the Legend of Matanui voices in a way. It kind of brings me back to that whole idea where you're using gibberish as the voices, to where in the Templar animations you don't have voices, you just have text. Which I would have liked to see or heard what each individual character from the Templar animations would have sounded like. Except for the Vaki animations, you can't really do anything with that, but whatever, you know. But the Toa Hordika animations, eventually they get the Makoki stones, they meet at the Great Temple, and they get the Mask of Light, and Anawa had to basically use his Rotuka spinner to turn it into a mass of rock. So, and that's why you see that totem at the beginning of Mask of Light. That was the Mask of Light in rock. So we got an explanation for that in 2005. Oh, these animations. I like the art style of the animations. It felt a little more desolate, a little darker. But, hey, I enjoyed it. So, some people probably cry foul at the look of the characters in this art style with the Hordika animations, because some people don't like the Hordika. I like the Hordika. I mean, obviously, I have all 6 of them right there. I have all 6 of the Toa Metru above them, so there's that. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, everyone is one. Then in 2006, early 2006, for about, I don't know, an episode a month. You got 6 episodes for the Hordika animations, actually. He also got 6 episodes for the Baraka animations in 2006. This is the final wave, the final year where we would get Flash animations for Bionicle G1. There was nothing in 2007, nothing in 2008, nothing in 2009. There was a movie. We should have gotten a movie for 2005, for 2006, 7, and 8. I mean, I can complain about a lot of things, but really, so the Baraka animations, they're pretty cool. They were a nice little take on the story of 2006. You know, you see the Baraka each, demonstrating what they can do. You know, Abak can shoot things. Hakan can, use a lava whip to whip the Matoran into opening a lava gate. Vizak turns a Matoran into a mutated Matoran. I don't know. Radak jumps onto that Matoran, and yeah, I'm not even gonna go there. That's just... yeah. The sound engineering for these animations is amazing. I mean, I love the Baraka animations for not only just the art style, because the art style is pretty damn good. I like it. I don't know about you, but I like it. But the sound engineering, whoever engineered the sound for the Baraka animations is a genius. These animations possess probably the best sound engineering, because they just come off as random and sporadic and weird at points. You hear some interesting sounds and noises coming from the characters, and also as they're walking and other things. Yeah, the sound for these animations are great. The soundtrack is good too. I can't remember who the composer was, but it's Virgil something. Fantastic music. Someone needs to rip the soundtrack from the Hordika animations. Get on it. The music from that is good too. I would like to have that as a soundtrack. Obviously digitally, because you're not going to put that on a CD unless you burn it to a CD. The Baraka animations, episode 6, I think episode 6 is when you get the final battle between the Baraka and the Bionicle, because throughout the entirety of or at least from episode 2 to episode 6, you see the Bionicle in the most unorthodox way. Obviously they look fine for the most part. I mean, Huki has brown instead of gunmetal, which I would have liked to see him with the gunmetal and the Keat orange instead of the brown and the Keat orange, because that looks not that great. Yeah, in episode 5 you see the Bionicle, opening up their giant mask things and then coming out and doing whatever. That's not how the Bionicle ended up on Vulcanui, you idiots! What the... Who's the animations studio behind these animations? I mean, they weren't given good enough story details, and I get it, it's a different take on the story, and it's interesting for the most part, and I still enjoy these animations to this day. But at least make it make sense. The Bionicle being hidden in these stone masks, giant stone masks of theirs, that doesn't make sense. That really doesn't make sense at all. What the fuck? Ugh. Yeah. This is where the video turns to something that I showcase some anger, because this is a part of the animations for the Baraka animations that don't make sense. I can understand how the Baraka and going through this cave and series of rooms and whatnot to get through places. But then you have a room with giant Inika masks, and the Toei Inika are in those masks. What? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Again, it's a stylistic choice, but it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. If you defend that and you like this idea better than them going into canisters being struck by lightning from the red star and then becoming an Inika that way and then going on to Voyunui, defeat the Paraka, you're wrong. Either way, despite that part not making sense, the animations were still enjoyable. Plus, you had the Toei Inika games, the Paraka games as well, with each passing episode. And also something that didn't make sense, as the Paraka were about to brawl against each other 3-on-3, the Toei Inika, in different poses, just like phase through the floor, rising up against the fucking floor. That doesn't make sense either! And then the ultimate battle begins. Toei Inika versus Paraka. There's two different endings. The Paraka ending, in which the Paraka win, and they go into the stairway, but then I think it was one of the Toei Inika, I think it was Nuparu, that awakens up, and yeah, that doesn't get cleared up, you know. It's left on a cliffhanger to us. It's basically left up to interpretation for the fans to, I guess, assume that the Toei Inika get their revenge and decide to, you know, go after the Paraka and defeat them again. Well, there's an alternate cutscene where the Toei Inika win, and Motoro goes into the 777 stairs. But then you see Thok waking up, and it's like, it's the same thing. The Paraka will get their revenge on the Toei Inika. They're more vengeful than the Toei are. And wow, I mean, these animations were fantastic. I love the art style. I love the sound engineering. I love the music. Virgil did a good job on the music. But just a few things just didn't make sense for these animations. Stylistically, it's great. I mean, the Paraka animations were fantastic for what they were. They don't hold up as well as they used to nowadays, but at least the sound still holds up, in my opinion. It's just, you gotta love the sound engineering for the Paraka animations. The sound engineering for the Templar animations, I mean, it's Templar. What do you expect? It's fantastic stuff. And the music composed by, I can't remember his name, whatever. That music is just, I love the Templar music that was used for Minogue 2, the Bohrok and Bohrok-Kal animations. I love it. That music is nostalgic for me, and I absolutely fucking love it. It reminds me that my childhood heroes are more important than, well, other things like, I don't know, music. I like music. Anyway, the point is, all these Flash animations, and yes, even the Vaki animations, it was still using the same song. It was a little bit of a remix, and some fan out there did a remix of the Vaki theme. They called it the Vaki remix. And Biomaniac, I think, is the username, but I don't know if they're still around. If anybody knows this user, are they still active? Probably not, but yeah, the Flash animations for G1 from 2001 to 2006 were the stuff of legend. They still hold up for the most part nowadays, but even going back as far as the 2001 stuff, some of it doesn't hold up as well to some people, but for me, I just love these animations. The Templar animations, I pretty much worship as the best animations for Bionicle G1. Don't get me wrong, the Voki animations, okay, that's Templar, but still. The Hordika animations were of a different art style, but they were still enjoyable. The story aspect of it, you know, it was an addition to the story, and it worked well. It gave us an explanation for that totem at the beginning of Mask of Light. And also the Bohrok animations. I love the sound engineering. The Toa and Ica being in those giant masks didn't make sense. Them facing through up the floor doesn't even make sense either. But those animations are still enjoyable. Even today, if you just skip the games and just watch the animations. Yeah. These animations are probably some of the best Flash animation sort of things that you'll see from the 2000s. From 2001 to 2006, no other Flash animations that I can think of compared to the Bionicle ones. Not even the G2 Flash animations from 2015. There was 18 episodes, not counting The Legend. That's like an episode 0. No, the Flash animations for G2 for 2015, they're inspired by the Templar animations, kind of, but they're still different. In fact, the art style, the art style kind of reminds me of you know, there was a cartoon called Mucha Lucha. Yeah, it reminds me of that art style, at least kind of vaguely. But I also am not a fan of that show, but I've watched it. I used to watch it in the past. But overall, the Flash animations for Bionicle, G1 at least, were amazing enough that they require multiple watchings. So you watch them multiple times, and you enjoy them. In fact, I have a playlist for the 2001 to 2003 animations. That's mostly for my entertainment, but if you enjoy that playlist too, I welcome that. So overall, what else is there to say about the Templar animations and the Hordika and Bohrok animations? Well, they vary. They're varied in their sort of, ability to tell a story while also being comedic at times. And also, just generally just fun. These are fun animations that you don't even have to play the games. Well, with Minogue and Minogue 2, you have to play the game, because how else do you get to... I mean, come on, when it comes to Minogue 2, how do you get to the Rachi? Yes, you get to see Lyrak for a few seconds, and yeah. Anyway. The animations, the Flash animations for Bionicle are just fantastic. The Templar ones are probably the best for me, because those are the most nostalgic. But don't sleep on the Voki animations. Don't sleep on the Hordika animations. Don't even sleep on the Bohrok animations. Yes, the Toa and Ica are there too, but the way they were presented doesn't make any fucking sense. Okay, I'll move on. The point is, these animations, they were engineered well, they were designed well, the art styles are fantastic, the sound, the music, I love it all. It's amazing. It would have been nice to see what we would have got in terms of Flash animations for the Toa Metru, as well as for 2007, 8, and 9. And we didn't get anything for that. Well, in 2009, we got the movie. In 2007, we got the Bohrok and Toamari movies, mini movies, which were done by Ghost Animation. Okay, I can get behind that because they always look like the sets. In 2008, there was a 45-second thing for the Fantoka, and there was also the Meet the Mystica thing, and the short movie with Toa Ignica going into the Kodrax, sacrificing himself to awaken the Great Spirit and create the energy storm that kills all of Makutas, except for Pterodax. Pterodax! What did you do? Yes, it's genocide. He killed off his entire species in the energy storm, except for Mizrax. He's stuck in a painting, as far as I know. Anyway, I'm going off topic. So what do you think about the Bionicle G1 Flash animations from 2001 to 2006? Do you feel like we should have gotten more? Do you feel like that they overstayed their welcome? Or do you feel how I feel? That these are animations that are worth going back to from time to time, and are still enjoyable, and give you a nostalgic feel that you ever so love. Overall, I enjoy them, but do you? And also, hats off to Templar for the best animations. Well, I hope you all enjoy this video. I'm sorry it's 31 and a half minutes, but I had a lot to say about these. These were phenomenal animations, at least for the time. Nowadays, they don't hold up as much, but, I mean, it depends on who you are and what your real philosophy on animation style is. But, I still enjoy them. I mean, it doesn't matter if there's subpar compared to nowadays. Hell, I think nowadays there are animation styles that are subpar compared to these Bionicle animations. Can you believe that? I hope so, because I'm not joking. I'm not joking. There are animations from cartoons that are subpar compared to those Flash animations from Bionicle G1. Even the Flash animations from Bionicle G2 are subpar compared to G1. And that's just me being honest. So, anyway, that's it for this video. I'll be back tomorrow with another one. Hopefully. So, stay tuned for more videos. I'm TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks there. Have a good fucking day, and peace.